Seraphim17 once again. This is my Metal Gear Solid 5 S-Rank walkthrough. This is episode 20, it's called Voices, and I'm going to be showing you a pretty confident path through the level, but once again, we're building bond with Quiet, so we're running for quite a large amount of this video, and I've sped it up because there's nothing worse than, you know, watching me just run, I guess, even though there's probably some people that would enjoy that, and it would give me an opportunity to talk, but there's quite a lot of videos to come, so I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get a lot of my feelings and a lot of different aspects of my opinions and what have you, and mechanics of the game across as we go along. However, because I've played a lot of this game now, I've got to the point where the honeymoon period is over, but things are just getting better. Whereas when I was first playing it, guys, some of my opinions would have been so much fucking worse. Like, this game made me really angry as I run away from that jackal thing there. Like, really, really angry at times. And there were things that I really, really didn't like. But much like an album by a band that you love, that first spin can be a bit of a doozy. And you don't know what it is about it, but it just doesn't click with you. And then you give it a few more, or you give up on it. And if you do give it a few more, it starts to make sense. And then after a while, you might come to love that album more than all the other ones. And it's kind of what's happening at this moment as I run up this little mountainside. It's going to go back to normal speed now, because this is an outpost, so I'd show myself creeping through this. But if you follow the path I'm taking here, you're going to circumvent all the encounters all the way up until you get to the stream. And then the stream is pretty much the closest thing to a stealth section as it can be. But, like, I think my biggest gripes with this game, and if I haven't mentioned, I am writing a review for this, because I just think it deserves it so much, because there is a lot of people calling this the best game on the planet, and I just don't think it is, although at times I think it has aspects that make it, you know, one of the best games of the current generation. But at the same time, there are people who are saying that it's just this massive hype wagon, bandwagon bullshit, sycophantic sheep nonsense where no, everyone's been paid off and no one's afraid to say that it's this boring, repetitive, open world stealth game with a lacking story. Like, which is also has some merit, but is false as well. And I want to try and put out, I'm not going to say objective because it's impossible to be entirely objective as much as I would love to. This is the little wanker I mentioned on the other video. Do you see it? This bitch, so dangerous. That thing will jump you. And of course I'm trying to go for a nose trace, just as more as a practice than anything else, because I know I'm going to be shooting at Volgin. Spoiler alert. Let me talk about that, by the way. If you don't know the man on fire is Volgin, take the disc out of your system and snap it in half and proceed to stab yourself in the throat with it. Because come on, dude. Really? Like, if an addendum to that previous rather violent request, if you've never played Metal Gear Solid 3, then do not do that. But if you have, shame on you. Shame on you. Like, straight up just shame on you, dude. Oh, there's a technique here as well that you can do where when you're laid prone, if you press A to stance change and then you press the dash move, the dive move, which is X or square if you're on PlayStation, and then as you land, if you press A to stance change and you press dive again, you can cover quite a lot of distance at the lowest profile the game affords you. But you need to be aware that the dive generates quite a lot of noise. It's the same as walking at full speed in a crouch walk, I think. Because if you're in about 10 meters of an enemy, they'll detect you. But they don't detect you as in, like, they know you're there. They'll turn around to look. So use it accordingly, but you can cover some serious distance in tall grass doing that technique. And it sounds hilarious and it looks goofy, so I'm a big fan of that. But the man on fire, it's like his boots are the same, guys. Come on, how can you not notice? The very first cutscene of the game, I realised that it was Volgin. And it's the same with the Quiet thing. Like, people getting all up in arms over spoilers about Quiet being a boss. The bitch tries to kill you in the first 2 minutes of the game. What do you think you were going to do? Send her a friend request on Tumblr? Like, come on. Really? Like, people are so dumb. I just don't understand it. I really don't. But that is all the stealth you're going to need to do for this level. So you can run from this point onwards because you're safe to do so, and then the only thing happening here is a boss encounter. And thinking right now, I reckon you can probably lose track of Volgin by hiding, and then exfil via the chopper. That being said, he can shoot the choppers down in one fireball, so he's really good at doing it. So in theory, if you're lucky, you can get out of this zone via a chopper without him ever engaging you. You can probably no trace bonus this level, because I haven't fired yet, and if you don't engage Volgin, you don't need to fire. But I'm not going to be showing you that on this video. I'm going to be showing you a few strategies. I say a few. A single strategy that involves using the water to stun him and then Fultoning him away. Although the Fulton doesn't work when you actually do Fulton him, which is a bit misleading. But I'll explain that later. So we're going into the House of the Devil, or the Devil's House. This is one of those moments where it actually gives you quite a lot of story, but it was story beats that I really didn't care for, and I think the carrot on the string on this game, narrative-wise, is too weak. There's too many periods where there's just no carrot in sight, and I don't think that's good. When you bust through here, he's going to break the wall down, and it's going to drop scaffolding, so don't go forward. If you go forward, the scaffolding drops on you, it does damage and it stuns you. It's a pain in the dick. And then immediately he's going to fire bullshit at you, so be aware of it. And if you come over here, there's a gap in the fire. Sometimes there is fire there, and it will set you on fire, so be aware of that. And the strategy I wanted to do here, if you get Volgin next to this explosive container, as he's walking towards you, if you shoot it, it'll blow him into the water, and it's the end of the fight. But he cock-blocked me right there with that, so I'm like, you motherfucker. So instead, I'm going to take him over to this water tower. So if he's close to the water tower and you shoot it, it'll fall down and it'll stun him for 30 seconds. In that 30 seconds, what I do is I position Snake, I walk up to where the man on fire is, I'm like a few inches from him, I go into my menu, I select Fulton, and I drop the Fulton at the point of the triangle that Snake is on the map. And then it's 100% luck if this works. Because there's no way to set this up, guys, it's just luck and bullshit. So get close to him as you can, Fulton, and then drag your marker just a little bit past yourself to land near him. And what you're wanting here is, you're wanting it to drop onto Ginger Mantis, who is actually called the third child, like Trechik the Rebinok or something ridiculous. I don't know what it is or how to say it. But if you try and Fulton this guy without getting rid of the boy, he'll just break the balloon. And the two ways to get rid of him, the one is to drop the Fulton supply package on him. I didn't mean to do that, by the way. Once again, the D-pad is horrendous. The second one is to shoot him 20 times. I recommend dropping the Fulton on him, because the shooting thing, unless you have an automatic weapon, it's just not. It's no bueno. It's kinder bueno. But here he comes again. He's going to fire the bullshit. Just put something between you and him. There goes the water tower. And then this time, I'm going to be successful. So get as close to him as you can, in his direction, and then just kind of drag the auto, because he is really annoying. You're fighting the controller because it's dragging the box back to your triangle, so you have to kind of just brush it and fight that magnetic pull, which is really stupid because you can't zoom in close enough to really have any precision. But once you hit him, Fulton, and you've won. So there you go. He goes away, but it doesn't work. It'll say it fails. And then all you can do now is run back towards the opening and get out that way. Word of warning, if you go towards this opening while the man on fire is still knocking about, it will close it and you'll have a longer way to exfiltrate the level. But if you do it like I just did then, you should be okay. The blue barrels in this warehouse, if you shoot them when he's close to them, they will explode water and they will stun him as well. But you cannot Fulton him out of the warehouse because it has a roof. So just bear in mind. Another way to kill him is you can run him off the cliff and it'll end the fight instantly, but setting that up is pretty tricky. You can also stun him by hitting him with the car. There's quite a lot of different ways, but I think that boss fight's utter shit, so there you go. But there's the S rank, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.